right, y'all. Uh-oh. 1 2 1 2. Yes, indeed. We are back, y'all. And all right. We had a little technical difficulty and I have fixed the problem. So I'm like, supposed to be here at 1 o'clock anyways. I was trying to cut out a little early, but you know what? I was a little turned off because I couldn't believe the audio wasn't coming out over Facebook or Instagram. So we fixed the problem. It was actually a little update that I didn't see that I had to do. I did it, and here we are. And you should be able to hear us now. And we've been talking about Bill Bellichek and Bill Polian, who is the main guy who has been keeping him from being a first-round ballot in the Hall of Fame. And this goes way back to 1998 when Bill Polian was president and general manager for the Buffalo Bills. All right. Now, when the Buffalo Bills lost those 4 Super Bowls back in the day, one of those games was with the New York Giants.
Well, that was actually, Steve, their first loss. That's the one that started them on that trend to losing 4 Super Bowls.
And who was the defensive coordinator for that team?
Bill Bellichek.
Bill Bellichek.
And he shut down that high-octane Buffalo Bills defense with Jim Kelly, Thurman Thomas. You had Bruce Smith on defense. You had you just had so much talent. There's about 5 or 6 guys off that team that's in the Hall of Fame right now.
Right. So we're going to talk about this because this is a story that's been trending all up and down social media. And I'm just going to play some clips from a few players from the NFL. I'm going to tell you the respect that people have for Bill Bellichek. They are stepping to the plate for him. Here's J.J. Watt, Hall of Famer, former Texan.
If you have Bill Bellichek not making the NFL, the Pro Football Hall of Fame, you should not have a vote for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. The guy has 8 Super Bowl titles. There's only been 59 of them. He's got 8 rings from 59. Like, what are you doing? What qualifications do you want? How do you tell the story of the NFL without Bill Belichick? Yeah, if you didn't have him on your ballot, and I get this whole well, there was 3 spots and you can only put I don't care. If there's only 3 spots, Bill Belichick is spot number 1. Point blank, period. You figure out who fits in the other 2.
And here's Tom Brady.
I just think that, to me, I don't understand it. I mean, I was with them every day. If he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, there's really no coach that should ever be a first ballot Hall of Famer, which is completely ridiculous because people deserve it. And he's incredible. There's no coach I'd ever want to play, I'd rather play for. If I'm picking one coach to go out there to win a Super Bowl, give me one season, I'm taking Bill Belichick. So that's enough said. There's nothing outside of that. Again, when it comes down to votes and, popularity and all that, then welcome to the world of voting. And you may as well go, try out for the Oscars or whatever and, get a big panel to tell you if you're good or not. So it's the way it works. And unfortunately, he's going to get into the Hall of Fame. In the end, I'm not worried about that. And a lot of times in life, for all of us, things don't happen exactly how you want them or on your timeline, but we'll all be there to celebrate him when it does happen. And he's going to have a huge turnout from so many players, coaches that appreciated everything that he did and the commitment that he made to winning and the impact that he had on all our lives. And that'll be a great celebration when it happens.
And so that was Tom Brady. You have people like Jimmy Johnson, who's said a lot of things. Matter of fact, he said he is not going to the ceremony this year. And he had a lot to say about it as well. But the thing that the hate with Bill Polian goes back again since 1998 when he was GM and president of the Buffalo Bills. Actually, that wasn't in 98. That was way before that.
It was through the 90s when the Buffalo Bills was making Super Bowls.
Right.
He was the head guy doing all the drafting. And I'm going to be honest, much as I'm pissed off at the guy right now, the guy was a talented general manager and drafting guy. You set up a team that went to 4 Super Bowls. They didn't win, but you got about 5 or 6 Hall of Famers. And then you transition that to the Indianapolis Colts, who was a dynasty in waiting, but unlucky for them, the New England Patriots popped up out of nowhere.
Yeah, so the only problem I have with that is he was a hater. Yeah, he was talented in finding talent, but he's. And the thing about haters, like I said before, man, the thing about if you have haters, you're doing something great because haters hate people that are doing things greater than them that they can't do. And this guy was obviously jealous of Bellichek because think about it. So in 1998, he was the general manager and president of the Indianapolis Colts. He drafted Peyton Manning, right? So also Marvin Harris and Reggie Wayne, I believe.
Reggie Wayne.
So
yes,
before the Patriots came on the scene, the Colts were the team that everybody was saying was going to be that team to beat in the AFC until the Patriots came along. So he didn't like the fact that when he played Bill Belichick's Patriots, Tom Brady and Ty Law and them boys and Lawyer Malloy and Willie McGinnis, man, we beat the Colts. I mean, we would beat up on them like it was nothing.
Well, Steve, I want to rekindle your memory a little. Do you know they was in the AFC East with us? We used to play them twice a year.
And they changed the division.
They changed. Okay,
I remember that.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So you remember in our early Super Bowl years, we played them twice in the same season. So that was a little rivalry going on there.
And we owned them.
That's right.
We owned them in that Tom Brady, Bill Belichick era, early years before we became a dynasty.
Yeah.
So, anyways, it's been said that Bill Polian, who is one of the main voters and who also has a lot of influence on the committee at the Hall of Fame, he went around and he was saying to people that he didn't think Belichick should get in the first year because of Spygate. All right. So I want to talk about Spygate and Deflategate as well. But before we do that, let me just play for you what Jimmy Johnson had to say about this.
First of all, I think this tarnishes everything in the Hall of Fame. All of the inductees, everybody in the Hall of Fame, just because of 10 or 11 or 12 ignorant, jealous assholes who did not vote for him. I think it tarnishes everything about the Hall of Fame. As far as if they're using the excuse of the Spygate, before they had the electronic communication between the sideline and the players, everybody was trying to steal signals. A lot of people would not admit to it, but every team had an individual trying to get the signals or doing one thing or another. And then one of the scouts for the Kansas City Chiefs talked to us. They said, hey, we've got the system. Howard Mudd is the best at doing it. They had a camera and they would film the opponent's signal caller and match it up with the film. And then they would get their signals. And we noticed, we watched the Kansas City huddle, the offensive guard would look to the sideline and Howard would go ahead and give them a signal, whether or not it was, man coverage or zone coverage, et cetera, et cetera. Now, Howard Mudd left Kansas City. He left and actually went and worked for Bill Polian and Tony Dungy. Now, I'm not accusing them of doing it, but there were a lot of teams doing it back then before they put the electronic communication from sideline to the quarterback and the linebackers. And so if they're using that excuse to not put Bill Belichick in the Hall of Fame, it is absolutely ridiculous.
And it's unacceptable, and I'm going to tell you why. And I'm going to break this down for you, especially the haters that are out all of a sudden because the Patriots are back in the Super Bowl. Understand this. This is why, one of the reasons why the media does this and people in power do it, especially on the NFL level, is because their influence, most people are going to listen and they're going to run with whatever they say. They don't ask questions. Tom Brady cheated. Oh, did you hear they said he cheated? And they don't ask questions. But Deflategate and Spygate are two of the biggest made-up scams in sports and probably in this world. I compare it to when former President Bush said that there were weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. When we found out there were no weapons, what happened? Nobody said nothing.
Nobody said nothing. Nobody gave an explanation. Colin Powell, who was Secretary of State or Secretary of Defense,
Right.
The guy kind of pushed away from the whole Republican Party after that. If you remember,
he wanted no parts of it.
He became a big supporter of Obama.
He knew there were no weapons.
And he was a Republican his whole life.
Right.
He pushed away from it because he felt he was put in a position where y'all gave
He
me
didn't
some
like it.
bad information.
He didn't want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
So let me tell you, and I'll start with the Deflategate. So, and you can research this and you can try and prove me wrong, but you can't. You won't do the research. Most people are lazy. They won't do it. They just run with whatever the media or whatever people tell them. There's always the truth and there's the whole truth. So let me break down Deflategate for you real quick. Deflategate, first of all, number one, the NFL did a investigation. They used a third party. Tom Brady was suspended. Patriots got fined. Tom got fined. They still won the Super Bowl that year anyways. But you ever wonder why you never heard the results of the investigation of Deflategate? You ever wonder why? They're not going to apologize. It never happened. In the report, if you do the research, and I'm going to paraphrase, it says that basically that the Patriots did not deflate footballs and that every team in the NFL had deflated footballs when the temperature dropped down to a certain degree.
Under 32 freezing.
Right. The same way when you got in your car this morning, Rich, and most people, because it's so cold outside, that little light on your dashboard is on and it tells you that your tires are under deflated.
The PSI.
Yeah, the PSI. It's the same thing with footballs. So Deflategate never happened. It was the biggest non-scam, one of the biggest non-scams in the history of sports, and people still accuse the Patriots of it. The NFL never came out and apologized. It never happened, right? Spygate. So Spygate, the NFL came out with a memo. You can research this too. Prove me wrong. I did. They came out with a memo that was issued to all the teams. In the memo, I'm going to paraphrase that too. It wasn't that. In the memo went out to all the teams again. And it said that you can no longer put your cameras here. Instead, you have to move your cameras over here. This was for all the teams. So all the teams were doing it. You heard Jimmy Johnson say so. Everybody was doing it. Everybody was recording other teams.
It's called a competitive advantage. Everybody's looking for it.
Right. So because of the success and hatred for the Patriots by many of the coaches, many of the GMs, they didn't like Bellichek. They blew this. They was willing to do any and everything they can to throw any type of water or fire on their success, and they succeeded in that. But when you think about Spygate, it wasn't Spygate. It was a memo that went out. Mangini got upset and said that Bellichek didn't move his cameras. And by the way, he hasn't had a job since the Jets for a reason.
He wasn't a good coach either.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't. But I think that him, what happened with the Spygate, the level, the intense accusation that came from the media and everyone was like the Patriots are cheat. The whole world was like the Patriots are cheaters, and it just never really happened. A whole illusion was created, just like weapons of mass destruction.
Well, Steve, let me ask you. Initially, 2001, 9/11, we win the Super Bowl. We're the Patriots. We're America's team. The Patriots have won. America's team. All of a sudden, we became the most hated team after 3 Super Bowls.
Right.
Because nobody liked Bellichek. His arrogance, everything came into play. Bill Polian, if you remember, Steve, he's the guy that he was on the rules committee of the NFL.
Right.
Because we were banging and beating up Marvin Harrison and their receivers, Reggie Wayne at the line of scrimmage, throwing off Peyton Manning's timing, Bill Polian goes in.
Had the rules changed because they could not beat us in the playoffs. So this guy has used his power for years when they came. And this is another example. Honestly, Steve, I follow sports 24/7. I haven't heard Bill Polian's name mentioned in years. Honestly, I didn't even know the guy was still alive. I didn't even know he was in the Hall of Fame.
Yes, he is. As a general manager, as executive, they have the executive branch. And he's only got 1 Super Bowl, but they give him credit for building the Buffalo Bills, who never won, and the Indianapolis Colts. He's a great drafter now.
Yeah.
He's
just a sore, jealous loser.
Well, he figured he should have won more.
Well, he figured the Patriots got in the way, and Bill Belichick is responsible for his legacy, which should have been what the Patriots' legacy with Tom Brady is.
And Steve, he's not the only one. He must have wielded some power amongst those voters that when he went in there. I'm curious to see if Tony Dungy voted, because he has a vote also too.
Yeah, and I don't like some of the things that Tony Dungy said in the past about.
Yes,
they were all jealous of the Patriots and the Bellichek.
Yes,
man. All of them. Tony Dungy too, man. You know, and I didn't like some of the stuff he was saying negative about him back in the day. I'm like, dude, you're a sore loser.
Yes,
we whooped your team's ass.
And then Jimmy Johnson comes out and said the guy that was cheating in Kansas City goes to work for the Colts, Tony Dungy and Bill Polian.
Right.
I think that was Jimmy Johnson trying to wait a minute.
Right.
This guy worked for you.
Because guess what? The Colts, you want to talk about cheating, the Colts were accused of piping in artificial noise.
Didn't you go to the arena, Steve?
No, I've never been to that one, but
okay.
I went to the game in San Diego.
Okay.
When they was in San Diego still.
Yeah.
We played the Chargers in San Diego. And
was that a playoff game?
No, this was a regular season game. And the Chargers was filtering in artificial noise. That was so loud there. I'm like, man, this ain't real. It was deafening. I had to cover my ears.
Well, Steve, remember during COVID when there was no fans in the arena? There was only so many fans.
Yeah.
Remember they was doing it there?
Piping in artificial
Remember
noise.
in the bubble, the NBA bubble? To make it seem real to the players, they were also doing that.
They was doing that. And the Colts was accused of that, and it got swept under the rug.
They got swept under the rug.
Because of Bill Polian.
That's right.
His connections. And so, you know, we say all this because in the end, man, like, I love football. I do. I love the Patriots. I love watching it, man. But there's politics everywhere.
Well, Steve, let me ask you, isn't it kind of ironic? This happens just when the Patriots are back in the Super Bowl after 5 years.
The haters are back.
Isn't this?
The haters are back.
I mean, this timeline is just unbelievable right now.
The hatred is real.
Yeah.
It's real, man. And it's like, it's oh, man, here we go again, man.
And you know, the votes are coming out next week for the Hall of Fame. There's a chance Bob Kraft could get in, even though they've denied him once already.
So let's talk about that some more, because if you look at a lot of the stuff on social media and you read the comments, people are saying everything from the Flakegate, the Spygate, which I just explained to you, the biggest fabricated scandals of all time, in my opinion. I compare it to weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. But people are talking about Kraft in his massages. They're talking about Bellichek. They're calling him a pedophile because of the girl he is with, which, by the way, she is not underage. She's an adult. And I mean, personally, I wouldn't date anybody that young. That's just too much for me. That would be too much for me to deal with. I just wouldn't feel right. But I'm not knocking him. She's legal. Okay?
That's right.
So he's not a pedophile. So you can't. And on top of that, the person he dates has nothing to do with him being first round ballot in the Hall of Fame. You're going to really, if that's the case, you should go and check out every owner in the NFL, every president, every general manager, every other coach, because guess what? What do a lot of rich men do with their money? A lot of them go out and get young girls.
That's right.
They do their thing. They don't do it in public. You know what I mean? So you can't tell me that you're acting like.
What did you have to do with Playboy? He took Playboy magazine and turned it into $1 billion industry.
Right.
With young women. Not making this a moral issue, but I mean, using that against someone saying that about Bellichek, right. that was just wrong. The young female, she's of legal age, and that's just wrong. Don't bring that into play. One of the things I want to say about this thing is, Steve, going forward, Bellichek is the greatest football coach I've seen in my lifetime. Okay, me and you, we go way back watching football. In this age of free agency, players leaving, changing teams, chasing the money.
Right.
This guy kept this thing rolling for over 20 years.
What he did is historic. And he is a historian. I'm going to play this clip real quick. This guy is spot on. Check this out.
The man is the living historian of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. If its archives were to be deleted by electromagnetic pulse or nefarious intent, or if the place were to burn, the one place you could go to, since I don't believe we any longer have the great Gil Brandt, the one place that you could go to basically restore the entire library and history of NFL films in the Pro Football Hall of Fame would be Bill Belichick. You can't tell the story of the New England Patriots, one of the most storied franchises and easily the most successful this century, without Bill Belichick, their head coach and architect. You cannot tell the story of NFL football at all, whether it's his failures in Cleveland, the brilliant game plans with the New York Giants, him and LT, obviously he and Bill Parcells, and ultimately what went on between the Jets, resigning on the cocktail napkin for a quick laugh at the expense of the jest, and then once again the New England Patriots. Bill Belichick cares about and is American football as much, if not more, than any other person, player, coach, GM, owner you could possibly think of. It feels silly to have to be sitting here defending the wall, saying, of course he deserves to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. And I can't believe that in the most divided world, Andy, Bill Belichick has found a way to help us all agree about something that he should.
I'll stop it right there. He's right, and he's spot on. Bill Belichick is the greatest coach. He has the greatest mind. It's not just talk. Out of all the coaches in the NFL, I've never seen a coach prepare the players the way that Belichick does, whether it's special teams, on how the ball, when it's kicked up in the air and it spins however many degrees to the right before it goes, he's on that level.
What about the weather conditions, Steve, that the Patriots have played in over the years? And there were times where he took the ball first, whether they won the coin flip or he gave it to the other team because he wanted to flip the stadium depending on which way the wind was blowing in the stadium. How many games did he win like this? So, Steve.
And it didn't stop there. He would also know what time the wind was going to change direction.
Oh, he checked the weather. He knew
where the shadow in the stadium was at 4 o'clock.
The guy that was just on the radio is actually WEI's Christian Arcan. He's pretty good. I listen to him sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
He just said the history of the game cannot be told without Bill Belichick. And I'm going to tell you why, Steve. Mm-hmm. Bill Belichick was breaking down film when he was 10 years old. His father, Steve Bellichek, was a assistant coach at the Naval Academy, okay? Bill Belichick was at 10 years old watching film. His father, Steve Bellichek, is mentioned as one of the first innovators of taking film, watching it and breaking it down, seeing what teams are doing. So Bill Belichick's been doing this. That's why his players will tell you, like Ty Law, who's on the radio, mm-hmm. He's always got these guys prepared.
He's got them more than prepared.
When it comes, you heard what Brady said. If he had one game to win for the championship, he wants Bill Belichick to coach them. This guy's been prepared in every Super Bowl championship game. Think about the Malcolm Butler pass interception. That play was practiced all week long, Steve,
right?
Of blowing up that play. You know, that just didn't happen. Malcolm Butler executed it, but how many times in practice did Malcolm Butler practice that?
Right.
And Belichick had him prepared
right.
That when you see this is what you do.
This is what you do. So I'm glad you brought that up. That's an example of his greatness. They showed him in practice where he didn't have the play correct.
He messed up.
He messed up
several times.
And Bellichek said, okay, he showed him this is how you do that play. And that play showed up exactly at that time in the game. And it won the Super Bowl for the Patriots.
That's right.
So you can say all you want, Marshawn Lynch should have had the ball. Well, he didn't have the ball. The game, with the way the game was played and went the way it was supposed to be played by us as a team. And I can't tell you that any other coach would have had that play the same exact way that Bellichek had it and prepared his team for it.
I got one for you, Steve, of Belichick's knowledge. I don't remember the guy's last name. It's Ernie something. What about the guy that used to sit up in the booth and just watch team similarities, watch their patterns or what they're going to call?
Yeah.
That's why they were able to get that interception on Seattle. They knew their similarities of what they do on certain plays.
Yep.
So,
and you know who probably helped out on that play too?
who's that?
What was the dude that we got from Seattle?
He did. He blew up the play.
Yeah, what was his name?
The cornerback.
The cornerback. I can't remember his name.
Yes, exactly. He was a free agent. We signed him that year.
We signed him.
Well, he blew up the play.
He blew up the play.
He blew up the play to put Malcolm Butler in that position.
Yeah, he put Malcolm in the position. He's like, yo, right here. and that's what I'm talking about. That's the greatness of Bill Belichick. And I don't care what, it is totally unacceptable for him not to be first ballot into the Hall of Fame. Let me play what Stephen A. had to say real quick.
Hall of Fame, if they don't correct this decision, this egregious error, this crime in sports parlance, the Hall of Fame shouldn't even matter anymore. Clearly, it's not about credentials.
This is Jeff Saturday.
He is the most accomplished coach we've had and I played for a Hall of Fame coach. And listen, I competed against Bill Belichick. My goodness, I would have checked the box. That anyone didn't check the box. To me, I don't care what mindset, maybe I can help somebody else. Absolutely not. Like, check the box of the guy who deserves it the most, and then let the other two guys, you can fish it out.
Yeah, so people are speaking up and they're supporting Bill Belichick like I never thought they would, because people did hate him that much back in the day. Now, let's talk about some of the excuses. We talked about Spygate. We talked about Deflategate.
His treatment of the media.
Let's talk about that real quick, because what a lot of people don't understand, I've even seen people say it on social media. He snobbed the media all the time. Well, let me tell you why. This is how you know he's a great coach. And a lot of people, they're just not thinking. They're just going by what the media says. They're polluting your mind with information that's just simply not true. The reason why Belichick hardly ever talked to the media is because there were a lot of dumb questions. Like, okay, that's a stupid question. I understand that. But any information, if they were to ask him about injury reports or particular plays, he would never answer them directly because of one reason only, and that's because if he had, it would give the opposing team an advantage. And he was never the one that was ever going to do that in preparation for any football game, whether it was the next day or 6 months from now. He was never going to do that. But a lot of coaches do that, and they don't understand. Guys like Bellichek are right there. Oh, he's injured? Oh, he's got a sore left knee. Okay, you're going to put a brace on him so he might play? Look at Will Campbell right now.
That's right.
All right? The weak spot on the line for us, who's suffering from an injury, but you never heard Vrabel talk about it. I already know. He just came off of a knee injury.
And you know, Steve, you're so right, because I listened to the local radio station, and Patriots linebacker, Ted Johnson, he's one of the guys that explained Will Campbell coming back from the injury. He don't have to push off to defend the linebackers. Okay. So that's why he's probably getting beat on a lot of plays.
Till right before one. Keep going.
He's constantly getting beat on plays because he don't have to push off from that high ankle sprain that he had. So when you think about it, Will Campbell's getting beat a lot.
Keep talking, Rich.
And this is what really going on with the whole thing, that Bellichek never gave away any type of injuries, because it gives your opponent a competitive advantage over you a lot of times. And the way I see it, Mike Vrabel is learning from the school of Bill Bellichek right now. And, you know, people are making rumors about Drake May's shoulder. Mike Vrabel's giving him nothing. The only thing he says, he's on the injury report, but he's not hurt. Right. There's a difference between being on the injury report and not hurt. Like Mike Vrabel said yesterday, I don't know if you heard him, Steve. He said everybody's banged up this time of year. It's football.
And that's the thing when people talk about, you know, this person was hurt, that person. Listen, that's a part of football. Everybody's banged up, especially this time of the year. But for the biggest game in the world, if you can be out there, you're going to be out there. They just got to get – Will Campbell got 2 weeks to heal up.
2 weeks to heal. You get him in that massage room, massages, and working on that. Those guys got the best care in the world when it comes to people getting them ready.
Right.
Think about it, Steve. He's got 2 weeks, one game. He hasn't had 2 weeks off in a while now. So now he's got 2 weeks off to recuperate, from last week. So, Steve, this is great. I tell you, Steve, we've been on the Bellichek thing, but let's just kind of jump over. Our New England Patriots are in the Super Bowl right now,
Yeah,
Steve.
we're back in the Super Bowl.
Steve, this is a very surreal moment for me.
I like that jacket too, man.
Steve, oh, thank you, man. This is a little behind, man. It's only got 3 Super Bowls, the first 3.
So you bought it early.
I bought it 2010, Steve. I didn't think we was gonna win another one, Steve.
Yeah, man.
And then all of a sudden 3 more came along.
3 more came along, and so did the haters, man.
But Steve, I'm gonna tell you, man,
like each one we won, we got more and more haters.
Steve, I'm telling you, I like our chances in this. Sam Darnold, I know he could fall apart. If we get the pressure on him and make him uncomfortable in the pocket, I could see this being a very close game where the Patriots can win this.
You know what? I got them at 28 or 27-24. We're going to beat Seattle. I'm not scared of Seattle. People talk about their defense. Did you see what the Rams did to their defense?
Well,
come on, man.
Well, Steve, the most aggressive, me personally, the best defense that we faced was the Houston Texans.
Denver had a good defense too.
Yeah, Denver had,
defense.
but their defense was made better because of the inclement weather conditions. Nobody played well in that game, neither side of the ball.
Right.
But I think the Houston Texans, to me, Steve, that was the defense I was scared of, and we was able to pick them apart. If you remember, Pop Douglas. Remember, I told you, Steve, I saw a Pop Douglas game coming. Mm-hmm. That little pass over the middle in between the defense and the offensive line, and he broke it for a touchdown. And I was more scared of the Texans defense. I'm really not scared of Seattle's defense, Steve.
I'm not either. I saw what the Rams did, and I know the Rams got the number 1 offense, but guess what? You think we're not going to exploit that tape from that game last week?
And Steve, the Patriots coaching staff.
Yeah.
Mike Vrabel, head coach. Ben McDougal.
Yep.
Josh McDaniels was a head coach. Been an offensive coordinator for 5 Super Bowls with the Patriots. At least 3 he won, lost a couple, but just when you put all of this, Doug Marrone, another head coach on the Patriots staff, that was a head. Our experience going into this game, and Steve, our players are playing really loose.
Yeah.
Those guys are playing loose.
I like this team, man. I think Jones is a dog on defense, man. I mean, we got some players that, it's funny because you look back, people talk about Bellichek did this. Listen, stop it. Stop letting your minds be polluted by people that just hate the team anyways. Belichick, he drafted Pop Douglas.
Yes, he did.
He also
Keyshawn Booty.
And who else?
Wait a minute. Don't forget the running back, Stevenson.
Yeah, that's right. That team
still
has Belichick.
What about Barmore?
Right, exactly.
Who's one of our key players.
Yeah.
Probably our second best defensive player on the line.
Yeah.
Don't forget on the offense, a couple of offensive tackles.
Yep. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, man, just to go back to Bellichek a little bit, again, the guy, you got people that may not have given him the credit back when he was coaching because he was whooping their tails, number one. But I am amazed at all the respect he's getting now from everywhere, from people that, like even Jeff Saturday. Jeff Saturday played with the coach when Bill Polian was the general manager.
And he couldn't beat us in the playoffs.
They couldn't beat us in the playoffs.
One year, 2006. Well, we should have won that game. We were up 21-6 at halftime.
Right.
And God rest, may his soul rest in peace. Rashae Caldwell, ball goes through his legs. Remember, Steve?
Yeah.
On third down, and we get that third down, that game's over. And we go to the Super Bowl against the Bears.
Right. And we would have beat the Bears, of course. Listen, if you look at it, we got 6 Super Bowls with Bellichek, and we lost 3. 2 to the Giants and 1 to Philly.
And the 2 to the Giants.
That's 9 Super Bowl appearances.
It took miraculous. I mean, between the Tyreek one and both times, it took like these insane catches for them to beat us. And that's what I'm saying about this game coming up in 2 weeks, Steve, a week and a half.
Now let me speak on that game. I got to go back to the Giants game real quick. The first one we lost in the undefeated season.
The undefeated regular season.
I think it was the linebacker, OC the Haitian dude. I can't.
Oh yeah, Kiwanuka.
Nah, the other one.
Not
OC. What is that?
Okay.
OC something.
Kiwanuka out of Boston College, I believe.
Is that him?
Yeah,
The brother?
Kiwanuka.
The
Yeah.
Haitian dude?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So he came out and said that the reason, what's up, fellas? Or what's up? Hey, I'll be done in a minute, man.
Take your time, baby.
Yeah.
You on time.
All right. He came out and said that he learned this after watching film, but I think a former Patriot must have brought it. Someone brought it to his attention that he learned all of Brady's cadences.
That's right.
For that game.
Isn't that is that considered cheating?
Right. And he showed it to the entire defense.
Yeah.
So when you saw that game and watched that game and the Patriots didn't look like themselves, I heard someone say, man, yeah, Bellichek messed that game up. He changed it. No, he didn't change the game plan. They knew the game plan.
Well, the thing about that game, Steve, you're right, because they made Brady uncomfortable in the pocket.
Yeah, they knew all. And you could go to YouTube. It's on YouTube.
We averaged like 35 points a game that season. We couldn't be stopped.
Yeah.
But in that game, it seemed like the Giants knew everything that was going. That's why, Steve, it's about a competitive advantage. Everybody's looking to get something.
Yeah, right.
Steve, did you ever remember? It still goes on. When you're getting ready to play a team in the playoffs, they sign one of your guys that you released a couple of weeks before.
We did that with the Texans.
That's right. That's right.
And after we beat them, we cut him.
Isn't that so?
He got one paycheck.
Should that be illegal?
I think it should. I think it should.
But
I think they should be obligated to at least a few weeks. This dude got cut almost immediately.
But the league hasn't stopped it, Steve.
They haven't stopped.
Okay, so there we go.
They haven't stopped it. But we only got a few minutes because tap time is up next.
Yep.
You know, he got that music for y'all. But yeah, man, this whole Bellichek thing, man, is a major, major problem. And it's all because if you're watching us live on Facebook or Instagram, the guy on the right, his name is Bill Polian. He had a lot of power in the NFL. Even back in Deflategate, he was the general manager of the Indianapolis Colts, the ones who said that we deflated balls, and then the NFL does the investigation, only to find out that every team had deflated balls when the temperature dropped down to a certain degree. Again, the same way when you get in your car, the most fabricated non-scandal in the history of sports. And even today, you still got people saying they cheated at Deflategate and Spygate. But if you do the research, come on, man.
I got one more quick question for you, Steve. If deflating footballs was such a big deal,
right?
Football's been being played since the early 1900s.
Mm-hmm.
Professional football, the NFL has been around since like the 1930s, I believe.
Right.
Steve, why this just came into play? Why the footballs was never in the hand of the officials before every game? They put the air in them. Mm-hmm. They hold them to game time and distribute them to each team. Give me your footballs before the game. We check the air. Simple procedure.
The hatred.
We give them back to you. If this was so important to the game of football, why wasn't this a procedure put in place years ago?
It's a non-issue that was made an issue because the Patriots were dominating.
Yes.
They were dominating. They weren't just winning, they was dominating. 2 decades. They became a dynasty. When was the last dynasty before the Patriots?
Probably you could say Dallas
the Cowboys and the Pittsburgh
3,
Steelers.
Dallas Cowboys won 3 out of 4 in the 90s with Troy
Those were the last 2 dynasties. The Patriots got the biggest dynasty if they went 2 decades. And we're going on 3 now.
And the 49ers in the 90s.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The 49ers. You're
49ers in the 90s.
Can't miss out on that.
Yeah, Washington Redskins is hard because theirs was spread out. And it's 3 different quarterbacks.
Yeah, I didn't look at them as a dynasty. They were good.
But I got to give Joe Gibbs credit. You won with 3 different quarterbacks. Yeah. And you won with Doug Williams, the first black quarterback.
Right.
That's why I always give Joe Gibbs a lot of respect.
Right. And yeah, I don't look at them as a dynasty because they were good.
Yeah, theirs were spread out kind of, you know.
Yeah. But the Patriots, again, we're going on another decade now. And we got $40 million to spend next year, so it's only going to get better.
And 12 draft picks.
That's right.
So this is going to be great, Steve. We got another show next week to talk about this, man.
We'll be back on Tuesday. Tuesday, I got Shalia Torres coming in. She lost 100 pounds. She's on the cover of People magazine. So I know with it being the new year, people are talking about, they've been talking about losing weight, but you know how that goes. New year, whatever. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and they don't do it. But Shalia is coming in. She's going to talk about how she lost 100 pounds. She's on the cover of People magazine. That's on Tuesday. We'll talk more Patriots on Tuesday. A lot of Super Bowl parties happening. And Bill Polian, yo, man, jealousy is like, it's not good. It don't look good on you, man. It don't look good on you, man. Bellichek, greatest coach in the history, probably in the history of sports, period. But just his mind alone, the way he prepares for games. Again, I knew no other coaches to go into a game. All right, we're going to kick here because at halftime it's supposed to get windy. We're going to have 60 mile per hour wind. Remember the game in Buffalo before he retired?
That's right. When it was what?
It was so cold and windy, and we ran the whole game.
I think our quarterback threw like 2 or 3 passes.
The game plan was for him to run the whole game, and guess what? We won that game.
We won that game. That's right, Steve.
And I think we might have threw the ball one time. Not even.
Yeah, only threw the ball most 3 times. Mac Jones was the quarterback.
Yeah.
And you're right about that. Josh Allen actually threw the ball 30 times. 30 times. Which was insane. But I found out later, Mac Jones, his arm is not strong enough to fight through the wind. Some quarterbacks just have that arm where their ball can fight through the windy conditions like that.
Right. So, yeah, I wish we could stay long. We had a little difficulty earlier, but we'll be back on Tuesday, y'all. Thanks for locking in R&B Talk. It's never enough time, but we'll do it. We'll be back on Tuesday.
All right, people. Have a good day.
Enjoy.